Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Connecticut Department of Transportation and the town of Ridgefield, I would like to welcome you all for attending this public informational meeting for State Project number 117-165, replacement of Depot Road Bridge over the Norwalk River for the town of Ridgefield. My name is Preeti Bardwaj, and I am the project manager assigned to this project. We appreciate your willingness to participate in this forum virtually, and we hope that you will find this presentation both interesting and informative. I would now like to explain the format for tonight's meeting. I will explain how you will be able to interact with the project team. I will be explaining how this project is funded under the Federal Local Bridge DMS or Design Managed by the State program. We will have some welcoming remarks from the town of Ridgefield. I will be introducing the project team, which includes the department's front office leadership, the department's design team, and our consultant liaison engineer team. This will be followed with a technical portion of the design, which includes the condition of the existing structure, purpose, and need for the project, and the recommended design solution, which has progressed to a 30% design completion. As part of the department's public outreach program, it is at this point now that we are reaching out to you, the public, while it is still early in the design process, to receive any comments or concerns and answer any questions that you may have. And lastly, we will have a live question and answer session. I will now explain how you will be able to interact with the project team. There are three means of how you will be able to communicate this evening. The first is by email, which is dot-flbp@ct.gov. And I'll also spell that out. It's dot-flbp@ct.gov. You can also phone in, and that number is 860-944-1111. Again, the number is 860-944-1111. Or you can use the chat function on the MS Teams live event chat. In this format, you can ask a question by clicking on the little question mark, which shows Q&A. This will bring up the live Q&A field. Select the Ask a Question button at the bottom right screen and a field will pop up. And you can type your question and hit either Enter with a little arrow button to send. You can also check the box on the bottom to post your question anonymously if you prefer. There will be a slight delay, but eventually your question will appear in the featured section with all other questions that are asked tonight. The project email, phone, and chat will be screened by the project team during the Q&A session, and the questions asked by any of these methods will be posted to the MS Teams Q&A chat window. The questions will be asked out loud for the project team to answer. You can ask questions at any time during the presentation, but we will answer these during the live Q&A session that follows. We also have the project webpage link, where the recording of tonight's entire presentation, including the Q&A session, will be stored. The web page will also contain the same information that I have previously explained on how to provide comments and ask questions. And that project web page is portal.ct.gov/DOT Ridgefield 117-165. And I'll also spell that out. It is portal.ct.gov/DOT RIDGEFIELD 117-165. And lastly, please remember the comment period to ask questions or provide comments will be open through May 27th, 2021. So if you think of a question after tonight's meeting or want to expand on a question asked tonight, You will have until May 27th to do so. The MS Teams chat function is only available during tonight's live Q&A session. We would greatly appreciate it if you could fill out a brief survey that the department has through SurveyMonkey. The virtual public informational meeting platform is still a relatively new one for the department, and this survey will help the department improve these public meetings going forward. There's also a civil rights flyer available. Both the links to the survey and civil rights flyer are located on the previously mentioned project webpage. And lastly, I am required to read the following statement as part of the Title VI Civil Rights Act, and that is, no person shall, on the basis of race, color, or national origin, be excluded from participation or subject to discrimination in the development of this project. I would now like to explain how this project is being funded. This bridge is a town-owned bridge and is being funded under the department's federal local bridge program. Traditionally in this program, the town selects a designer, and because federal funds are involved, the department provides administrative oversight because the department is considered to be stewards of those federal funds. The funding is traditionally 80% federal and 20% town for the design, rights-of-way, and construction phases of the project. However, this project is going to be funded under the department's DMS, or Design Managed by the State program. In this program, it will be the department who will be performing the design on behalf of the municipality, utilizing our consultant liaison engineers, who in this case are Close, Jensen, and Miller. Close, Jensen, and Miller has completed the 30% preliminary design, and it will be brought to final design completion by one of our pre-selected task-based designers. In addition, the design phase only will now be funded with 80% federal and 20% state funds, so the entire design phase is at zero cost to the town of Ridgefield. Although the preliminary design was completed by the department, it was in full partnership and coordination with the town of Ridgefield. We held several meetings with the town and diligently worked together to incorporate most of the town's comments and concerns, and now we are reaching out to you, the community, to also weigh in. The initiative behind the DMS program was to expedite design delivery for municipal projects. The DMS program uses a streamlined design approach where we are able to utilize full departmental resources and are able to internally perform tasks concurrently rather than linearly. In this program, we are able to cut down the typical design time by a half and bring these projects to construction quicker, which is enabling the department's goal to keep our town bridges in a perennial state of good repair. The department is pleased to be able to offer this program to the town of Ridgefield. The DMS program is spending your municipal and state tax dollars both efficiently and effectively, and at the same time fostering a great working relationship with our municipal partners. And with that, I would now like to hand it over to Mr. Rudy Marconi, First Selectman for the town of Ridgefield.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is First Selectman Rudy Marconi. I want to thank everyone for attending this evening's public hearing. I want to stress the importance of this project, which is the replacement of the Depot Road Bridge. A bridge that has been around since the early 30s, definitely needs to be replaced, and it is an important part of the Branchville community. So hopefully you'll get a lot of information tonight on this project and recognize the importance of it and some of the inconveniences that may be associated with it. I know most of you have experienced already, so I look forward to a good report, detailed information, and thank you for being here.
I would now like to introduce the project team. I am Preeti Bardwaj, the project manager. To my left is Mr. Bart Sweeney, Division Chief of Bridges, and to my right is Mr. Mark Burns, project engineer, and Mr. Dennis McDonald from the Department's Office of Rights of Way. The consultant liaison engineers who have brought this project to 30% design completion are Close Jensen and Miller. And from Close Jensen and Miller, we have Mr. Mike Brady, project manager, and Mr. Dan Carnine, project engineer. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are finally ready to present our technical portion of the presentation. And you will be hearing a lot of bridge lingo throughout the presentation. Therefore, I am about to give you a 2-minute crash course on some of the structural elements on a bridge and the numerical condition rating system assigned on a bridge. On the diagram shown, the deck is the riding surface of the bridge. The parapets, or sometimes we can even have an open rail system, help prevent errant vehicles from going off the bridge. The beams, or the girders, are the supporting structural elements on the bridge and are designed to support vehicular loads and the self-weight of the bridge, and also includes any environmental loads such as wind, seismic, etc. The parapets, the deck, and the beams and girders make up what is known as the superstructure of a bridge. The abutments and wing walls are the end supports on a bridge. And piers, if there are any, are the intermediate supports. The abutments and the wing walls and piers make up what is known as the substructure of a bridge. The substructure not only supports the superstructure, but also helps in transmitting loads from the superstructure down to the bridge foundations. All state bridges and town bridges over 20 feet in length are inspected every 2 years by the Department's Bridge Safety and Evaluation Unit and are assigned a condition rating on the major bridge elements on a scale of 1 through 9, with 9 being excellent condition and 1 being imminent failure condition. When a major bridge element reaches a 4 or poor condition, that is when we start to initiate a project to address the structural deficiencies. Now that you are armed with basic bridge knowledge, I would now like to introduce Mr. Daniel Carnine, who will be presenting the technical portion of the presentation.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dan Carnine from Close Jensen Miller, and I will be presenting the technical portion of tonight's presentation. Tonight's presentation is about project number 117-165, which is a federal local bridge program project in the Branchville section of Ridgefield. The approximate project limits are shown in green on the slide. There are currently other improvement projects scheduled in the area, and their approximate limits are also shown on this slide. Project number 117-165.
What slide?
In coordination with all of these projects to ensure interruptions to traffic and residents are limited as much as possible. Project number 117-165 involves bridge number 7031, Depot Road over the Norwalk River. The bridge provides access from the Route 7 Route 102 intersection to the Branchville Station parking lot and properties across the Metro-North Railroad tracks on West Branchville Road. Here's an aerial view of the site. As you can see, this is a very developed commercial area in the Branchville section of Ridgefield. The intersection with Route 7 and Route 102 is located to the west of the bridge. On the east approach, there's the parking lot entrance to the Branchville station, and then continuing east along Depot Road, there's the Metro-North Railroad tracks. The existing bridge was originally built in 1910 and consists of a dry-laid stone masonry arch that supports fill and a reinforced concrete slab. The structure is about 20 feet long and has a 15.5-foot curb-to-curb width. The bridge has pavement markings for 2 lanes, but it normally functions as an alternating 1-lane bridge. However, the bridge has been closed to vehicular traffic due to its deteriorated condition. Because of the existing 15.5-foot curb-to-curb width, the bridge is too narrow for its current average daily traffic. This means the bridge is functionally obsolete and eligible for replacement on the federal local bridge program. The bridge is also eligible for full replacement based on the superstructure condition. The superstructure is in serious condition overall with a rating of 3. The stone masonry arch exhibits some large voids, with the largest being 5 feet long by 3 feet wide by 3 feet deep. Fill has been lost through the voids to expose about 80 square feet of the concrete deck. The deck itself exhibits spalls up to 12 inches in diameter and punky concrete throughout. On the slide, the picture on the right shows the inside of one of the voids. Due to this superstructure condition, the bridge has been closed to live traffic. The existing substructure is in satisfactory condition overall, with a rating of 6. The northwest concrete retaining wall exhibits light to moderate scaling with some cracks, and the stone masonry wing walls at the other 3 corners of the bridge exhibit minor voids and some settling. Due to the condition of the existing bridge, a full bridge replacement is required. The new bridge will consist of a pre-stressed concrete deck unit superstructure on integral abutments. These are different drawings and views of the proposed bridge, which we will go into more detail in the following slides. This is an elevation view that shows the side of the proposed bridge. The proposed span will be increased to about 24 feet to meet channel width requirements. The superstructure consists of pre-stressed concrete deck units. The deck units will be supported by reinforced concrete integral abutments founded on piles. On the top side of the bridge, open metal bridge rail will be carried across the structure and terminate into reinforced concrete end walls at all 4 corners of the bridge. The reinforced concrete end walls at all 4 corners of the bridge will be covered in stone masonry. Here are some pictures from recent projects that show what the walls could look like. Here's a cross-section cut of the proposed bridge. On top in yellow is the open metal bridge rail. The new roadway bituminous concrete pavement is shown as the black area. The curb-to-curb width will be increased from 15.5 feet to 24 feet and provide a 10-foot lane and 2-foot shoulder in each direction. The overall bridge width will also be increased to accommodate a new concrete sidewalk, shown here to the right of the roadway. On the bottom in orange are the pre-stressed concrete deck units. Here are some pictures from recent projects to show what the proposed superstructure could look like. The top picture is an example of open metal bridge rail on top of a pre-stressed concrete deck unit superstructure. The bottom picture is an example of the open metal bridge rail shown from the roadway. Here's a plan view of the site. Looking down over the river, you can see the bridge in the center in orange. On both sides of the bridge in yellow, the roadway will be widened and reconstructed. In green along the roadway is the proposed concrete sidewalk, which will provide access from the Route 7, Route 102 intersection to Branchville Station and the Depot Road Railroad at-grade crossing. The station is located to the lower right of the picture, and the railroad tracks can be seen to the right in red. This is the proposed roadway profile of Depot Road from Route 7 to Branchville Station. The site is in a very sensitive flood zone, and every effort has been made to eliminate any flood zone increases. Because of this, the existing vertical profile will be maintained as much as possible. Fill and soil cannot be added to raise the roadway due to the proximity of the railroad tracks and the negative effects additional fill would have on the floodway. Construction will require a detour. Since the bridge is already closed, the existing detour will be utilized. Branchville Station and West Branchville Road will continue to be accessible by Portland Avenue, which is located 0.2 miles south of Depot Road. The Depot Road Railroad crossing will also continue to remain open to vehicles for this project. We must obtain all environmental permits for this project. We currently anticipate a Ridgefield Inland Wetlands permit, a U.S. Army Corps of Engineers general permit, and a Connecticut DOT flood management certification. The proposed construction duration is 4 months with an anticipated start of spring 2023. Spring 2023 is a conservative estimate due to the time required to obtain the anticipated permits. However, the permit requirements and durations could change, and there is potential the project could start as early as summer 2022. The construction will be funded by 80% federal and 20% municipal funds. The estimated construction cost is $2,210,000 with a municipal share of $442,000. This concludes the technical portion of tonight's presentation. I will now turn it over to Dennis McDonald from DOT Rights Away.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dennis McDonald, and I'm a representative from the Connecticut Department of Transportation, Division of Rights-of-Way. I'm just going to provide a brief overview of the right-of-way process. So the function of the Division of Rights-of-Way is to acquire all property and property rights necessary for the project. This is done in accordance with Connecticut General Statute Section 13A73, 13A90AE, and the Uniform Relocation Assistance and Real Property Acquisition Policies Act of 1970 as amended. The typical right-of-way impacts include partial acquisitions, easements, and rights. Impacts are subject to change as the design progresses, but this gives a general idea of typical property impacts. Once property impacts have been established, each impacted property owner will receive a letter of intent to acquire along with a property acquisition map. The letter essentially initiates the right-of-way process, and the map provides a detailed overview of the specific right-of-way impacts. Soon after the letter is received, evaluation process will take place, and once a value has been established, each impacted property owner will receive a written offer of compensation. Property owners will be given time to consider the offer and negotiate should they wish. If an agreement is reached, an acceptance document will be signed, and a closing will take place at a later date. If an agreement is not reached for whatever reason, the state will utilize its power of eminent domain and acquire the property rights through the condemnation process. Now, I understand this has a negative connotation, but many times this is done to keep a project on schedule. If the state elects to pursue eminent domain, the original offer is deposited in the court system, and property owners can continue negotiations or file a formal appeal for a reassessment of damages through the court system. Please note all appeals must be filed within 6 months from the date in which the state files for eminent domain. And that is all I have for tonight. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Dennis, and that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes our technical portion of the presentation. I would like to thank everyone on my design team and everyone behind the scenes who helped put this live event together. We are going to leave the Q&A session information on the screen for your benefit, and we will be answering questions that came in during the presentation and answer any questions that will come in during this live Q&A session. Once again, we would like to remind everyone to please visit the project website to participate in the survey pertaining to tonight's event, or ask additional questions, or view project plans and information. For those of you listening on the phone, the project web page is again portal.ct.gov/DOT Ridgefield 117-165. So with that, we are now going to start the live question and answer session. We will take as many questions as we can. Feel free to use that chat feature or call in by phone. The number is again 860-944-1111, or by email. The address is again dot-flbp@ct.gov. And once again, the comment period is until May 27th, 2021.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we have a couple of questions that came in. And as I stated earlier, I am going to read them out loud for our project team to answer. So we'll start with the first question. And the first question is, where will the contractor place his equipment? And can I have Dan from Close Jensen and Miller please take this question?
Yep. So the contractor will most likely be storing the equipment in the closed portion of Depot Road. The contractor might also be storing equipment within the Route 7 right-of-way, street right-of-way, just off the roadway, and also within the Depot Road right-of-way.
Very good. Thank you, Dan. Next question. When is construction anticipated to start? Dan, can you please take this question as well?
Sure. So right now, construction is anticipated to start spring 2023. This is a conservative date that was chosen because it allows time for the environmental permitting process to completely finish. As design progresses, though, the permit requirements will be confirmed. That being said, there is potential that different environmental permitting requirements will be met, which will allow for shorter environmental permit approval time. If the project does ultimately meet these shorter time requirements, construction would most likely occur in summer 2022.
So thank you, Dan. And as he stated, it's all going to be dependent on the permitting on this job. And right now we are just going with the most conservative assumption on the permits. And we're going to hope as we progress into final design that it will be a shorter permit requirement. So that can substantially change when we will be out to construction, hopefully next year, summertime. All right, let's take the next question. How long will construction take? Can it be expedited? Dan, will you please take this question?
Yep. So right now we anticipate construction will take approximately 4 months. This 4 months is already expedited time. This is because we are using accelerated construction techniques like precast beams, and we are detouring during construction, which would help shorten the construction duration.
Okay, thank you. Next question. Can stage construction be used instead? Dan, can you please take this question?
We did look into doing some sort of stage construction. However, because the bridge is already so narrow and it's not in very good condition, construction staging is not feasible at this site. And in addition to that, we wanted to avoid construction staging, which would add a lot of time to the construction duration.
Okay. We have another question. Who will choose the stone facing? Dan, would you like to start with this question? And if the town would like to add, they're also welcome to add.
Yeah, I'll start off by just saying we are currently proposing stone masonry facing to cover some of the exposed concrete portions of the bridge. For most of our projects, we do include special provisions in the contract documents that dictate, the type of stone that can be used. Usually the type of stone and the pattern is, we make sure it's, locally sourced from the project area and that it's approved by the town. And then typically on these projects, a town representative will be provided a sample during construction to have one final review, and then to confirm the stone pattern and type in the field just prior to installation.
Okay. Would the town like to add anything else? Charlie, if you're on.
Yeah, Charlie Fisher talking. The actual decision will be made by the Office of the First Selectman. Like other projects, we want to maintain the existing aesthetic appeal of the old bridge, so the type of stone and the pattern will be mimicked in this new bridge.
Okay, thank you very much, Dan and Charlie. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't look like we have any more questions. Hold on. Okay, we have one more. Let me say it. We are supposed to use the stone from the existing bridge. I think that's a question. Are we supposed to use the stone from the existing bridge? Dan, would you like to take this question?
Yeah, so sometimes if the stone is in good condition, we can have a contractor maintain that stone and use it on the bridge. However, in this case, I'm not sure how much stone is left to cover all the end walls. So we ultimately we still might have to get additional stone masonry from a local quarry or from the surrounding area to supplement any stones that are on the existing bridge.
All right, so I don't see any more questions here. We'll give it another minute. So while we're waiting for more questions to come in, I would like to remind everyone again that this whole presentation, including the Q&A session, will be recorded and will be posted to YouTube following this event. The recording will also be made available on the link shown on the project webpage as well. Okay, I don't see any more questions coming in, so I'm going to take this opportunity to start wrapping up. I would like to encourage you to take the survey on the link that is shown on the Teams chat box, or for those of you watching on YouTube, the survey is below the video. This would really help us improve this virtual meeting experience in the future. And please remember, the comment period is open until May 27th. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the department and the town of Ridgefield, we would like to thank you for joining us tonight and hope you found this meeting informative and we were able to answer all your questions. All of us on the design team and the town of Ridgefield are always available to answer any questions, even outside of the comment period. We are also available to meet with you individually on the project site if you so desire. Thank you once again and have a wonderful evening. Oh, wait, we have one more, sorry. Did I miss a question here, guys?
The question was, will there be another public hearing?
Okay. Yeah, I thought I missed that one. All right, Dan, would you please take that question?
Yeah, so typically for these projects, we do the one public hearing. But you know, if design were to substantially change as as design progresses, or the town requests another public information meeting, there's no reason why we can't have another one.
Yeah, if the town desires to have another public info, we would certainly be open to that. But normally we just do one at 30% stage where we are right now.
Pretty, we had one more email question come in. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear.
There was a question about the property. It was a budding property owner. The question is, how can someone find out what property may be required by the state?
Dennis, Dennis from Rights Away, would you be able to answer that?
Yep, sure. Hi, this is Dennis from DOT Rights Away. So as we get further into the design and we officially determine property impacts, each property owner that's impacted by the project will receive a letter from the state informing them of the specific property impact. They'll also receive a map along with that letter, kind of detailing the specific property impact a little more. And that's the initial contact typically when determining property impacts.
Thank you,
Pretty, this is Dan from CJM. I just want to add, just for this project specifically, 117, 165, this project is very concentrated and really focuses on the bridge. And the major impacts of abutting properties are going to be mostly on the state property, which is the railroad property and the railroad station property. Again, the final impacts, will be determined as design progresses, and then the rights of way process will carry on as Dennis described. But again, for this project specifically, we don't see too many impacts going on to the private property.
All right. Are there any more questions? I don't see any. Sometimes they pop in at the last minute when we're ready to close, but I don't see any other questions, ladies and gentlemen. So I think this is it. Again, if you have anything else that you think of after this meeting, you can always email us with anything additional that you may have on this project. Okay, So thank you once again and have a wonderful evening.